Working? Working? Can you hear me?
Can you be quiet?
It's working. It's working.
Hello, my fellow vapers, smokers, ex-smokers, future vapers, future ex-smokers, future ex-pod users, future 12 milligrammers. We are back. I have absolutely no idea what time zone, country, biological clock status I am in at all, Phil.
Yeah, I think we're live. I can't tell because the screen is locked up, just like every other show, just like the beginning of every other show. I'm just looking at a locked screen.
Good. It's okay.
Right.
We're live. Just trust me. You don't trust me?
No, I believe you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There you are. How are you, Dimitri, my fellow
tired.
vapor?
I'm very, very tired, my friend. How are you?
I'm exhausted, dude. And I was still able to put together some video for today.
And you did a great job. And we do have a lot to talk about. Today's show is going to be a little bit more laid back, giving you kind of a recap of our smokers show tour in Europe and the countries we visited, and some of the things that we noticed that might be of interest to you if you're a smoker or if you're a new vapor. But first, we almost forgot, Phil. First, we have to make sure that we thank our wonderful sponsors.
We have to thank our wonderful sponsors. Of course we do. And our wonderful sponsors tonight, as always, are INNOKIN, right? INNOKIN. Of course, our platform products underneath INNOKIN. We have the fine folks from Juno, the lovely folks from LUNAR ROVER. If you use the coupon code Smoker Show with LUNAR ROVER, you are going to get 15% off of your order. We have the My Vapor Store online retailer. Of course, if you use the coupon code MTL10, you're going to get 10% off of the platform products over there at My Vapor Store. The fine folks from 5 Pawns coming through big time for us at the Smoker Show Live, along with Juno and, well, Naked 100 almost. And, of course, JOYETECH. JOYETECH also coming through for the Smoker Show Live and supplying a whole lot of product for some smokers that we converted, Dimitri.
Absolutely, yes. And the telephone lines are open, 215-383-5752. You press 1 when you hear the British lady speaking. And hello to everybody that's in the chat. I see people from Portugal. I see people from New Zealand. I see people from Germany. I see people from Canada. I see people from the retirement home. Larry, how you doing, buddy, down there in Florida?
I apologize, Larry.
And all over the world. We certainly appreciate you joining us for another Smoker Show. Yeah, before we get into the tour and where we went and what we did with the Smoker Show Live,
yes, sir.
We did have just an extraordinary adventure yesterday coming back from Madrid, Spain, from the moment that we took off to the moment that we actually, both of us, got home at some point.
Yeah.
So I just wanted, it's just a little fun story that I wanted to share with you, and just to know the stress and the pressure that I'm under on a daily basis just all came together vividly for me on our travels yesterday. So So we're starting kind of in the reverse, right? In reverse. So our flight was to depart 12 o'clock noon from Madrid to Charlotte. And then at Charlotte, of course, we split up and I go to Tennessee and Phil goes down to the old folks there in Fort Myers. So we get to the airport like 17 hours early, which is something that Phil always wants to do. He wants to
It wasn't 17. It was like maybe 2 or 3 hours early. Well, we thought we were going to do some shopping. We were going to do some shopping in the Madrid airport. And by the way, you do have to get to the Madrid airport 3 hours early. Absolutely. Because it literally takes you 3 hours to go from wherever you start off in that airport to wherever you wind up. That has got to be hands down the largest airport I have ever experienced in my entire life.
Absolutely. And we've been to a lot of airports. I mean, when you arrive to go through customs to get your bags, it's easily a 30-minute walk. Easily a 30-minute walk, right? The place is absolutely huge. I mean, they have terminals where you actually have to take the bus to go to, and it's like a 10-minute drive with a bus to go from Terminal 4 to Terminal 2. I've never seen anything like it.
Crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. Anyway, so we get to the airport. We're at the lounge. We're waiting. We board, and we get in the plane. And, you know, I can't live without internet, so I always get internet on the plane. So I'm on the plane about 3 hours before we land. My wife and my youngest daughter are leaving to go to Greece on the same day that I'm flying back, which, by the way, Phil, I advised against. I told her, that's not a good idea. Just wait till I get, and then you leave the next day. And she's like, nope, no problem. We got this taken care of. I'm going to leave the same day. So she's leaving the day that we are coming back. Her flight is Chattanooga to Charlotte, Charlotte to Chicago, Chicago direct to Athens. New American airline route. Fantastic. She can take the puppy, the dog, my youngest daughter. I'm staying here with the oldest daughter. We're going to go in a few weeks, right? So she books the flight. Everything is good to go. I start getting the messages. The plane to Charlotte is delayed. It's delayed. And Connie's freaking out. And, you know, you've met my wife. And if those of you that have met my wife know, you know, she's just one of these Yankee Greek girls. You know, she speaks her mind. She doesn't hold back. She's not very politically correct. But anyway, she's at the airport. She's texting me, and I know my wife is pissed when she texts me in caps. There's absolutely no reason for her to text me in caps, but she's texting me in caps. So I'm getting these messages. The plane is delayed. The plane is delayed. I'm gonna miss my flight. They're telling me I'm not gonna get a plane for 3 days. They're telling me this. I'm like, listen, just calm down. Everything's gonna work out. She texts me. She says the plane is coming. It's late. We're gonna board now, and we're gonna go to Charlotte. Now in Charlotte, she only has like 20 minutes to make the connection. So I said, listen, as soon as you get to Charlotte, just it's about 10, 15 minutes to go from E to B, because I do this all the time. Just go straight to the gate and hopefully you'll make the connection. Well, she gets to Charlotte. She had taken her bag and put it as plane side check-in, which was a mistake. And she knows it. Again, this is another thing that bugs me about my wife. She's like so proper on some stuff that she shouldn't be proper. Take your bag and put it underneath the seat. It fits. But no, somebody told her she has to put it, check it in. And she checked it in. And so she had to wait for her bag to come out in the jetway and pick it up. That was the entire bad point. This is what threw the entire trip off, is her waiting that extra 2 minutes to get that bag, or 5 minutes, or whatever it was. She gets the bag. They're jetting for the connector to go to Chicago, and the door closes literally 30 seconds before they got there. They're telling them, can they go in? Nope, it's against FAA regulations. Once that door closes, and that's just true. I mean, it's not like they could have done anything, but now the texts start coming in. Oh, I missed my flight. I missed this and I missed that. And oh my God, and she's freaking out. I'm going to kill somebody. I'm so pissed. I want to get to Greece. I was like, listen, just go to the counter, the customer service, and they're going to rebook you. Just tell them to put you on another flight, even if they have to connect to Europe or whatever. So she goes to the customer counter. I said, listen, I am arriving in Charlotte in like 20 minutes. As soon as I get there, I'll come to Charlotte and I'll meet you at the customer service and we're going to work this thing out. So we land into Charlotte. I tell Phil, I said, listen, go to baggage claim, get my bag, and recheck it for me. I'm going to go straight there to try to help, her and my daughter.
Which could have gotten me arrested by the
Which,
TSA.
by the way, absolutely it could have, because he picked up a bag with somebody else's name and rechecked it for me for my final destination. So I jet, from customs, and I get down to the B area where my wife was with my youngest daughter. And, my youngest daughter, she's 13. And, it's tiring to go through this, for a young kid. So I get there. Two people trying to help us, a supervisor and one of the customer service employees. And they're like saying, yeah, I can book her in 3 days. And my wife, as soon as she hears 3 days, it's like you said, I just killed your dad. That's how bad it sounds to her. She's like, no, I want to go, and I want to go there tomorrow. I want to arrived there tomorrow, like my original flight. So I'm trying to work with a guy, and I'm trying to say, hey, listen, I don't care what you do. Just rebook her. If it doesn't have to be direct from Chicago, book her somewhere in Europe, book her somewhere. So they're going in the back and they're trying all these things. Now, here's the kicker, folks. My life is just. She has our puppy with her, which is Lulu. Lulu has a European passport, believe it or not. So she can travel anywhere in Europe except London and Ireland. They don't allow pets, right? They're quarantined. They don't allow pets to go through. Guess who the airline that American works with is British Airways. So they're like, okay, yeah, we can get you through Heathrow, but you can't take the puppy. So you can't take the puppy with it. Connie's freaking out. I got the dog. I can't go from London. Folks, we're there for an hour and a half. An hour and a half. Keep in mind that I have a connection at 5:30, and now it's like 4:45. Phil comes over now to meet us at the gate. Even Phil is getting aggravated. He's like, "Who's the supervisor? Bring him out here. Bring him out here. Let me talk to him. I'm going to take care of him." Anyway, Connie takes the puppy to go relieve itself to the pet area.
This story ends soon, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
At some point, we get into the smoking show.
I'm sorry. I just have to say this. So
this is the long. You started with to make a long story short.
I know.
Go ahead.
So Connie so the guy comes out. He's like, listen, I got her a flight to Rome, but from there she's on her own. I'm like, don't worry about it. Book it to Rome. I get on my phone. Phil is right there. I get on my phone and I book 2 tickets for the next day from Rome to Greece for my daughter and my wife on my phone, literally in 5 minutes. So we get the tickets. I get her all the information, and we all take off. They go to the gate. I go, to my flight, and then
we literally ran in 3 different directions. You got me into the to the lounge because you have access to the lounge, and I really needed to get into the lounge soon because I had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
You ran to your gate, your wife ran to her gate, so now there I am in the lounge, and mind you, I have 3 hours to wait now for my flight, which wound up getting delayed another 2 hours, right?
Yes.
Yes. See, look. I don't mind the delay, right? What pisses me off more than anything else are the gate agents just staring at you, not giving you any information or any updates, or even the thank you for your patience, which at that point I had none, right? But just like, that's all you got to do is like, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're sorry for the delay. We're estimating what is so-and-so. Thank you for your patience, whatever, but nothing. I mean, you would think that they would give an update because you have like person after person going up to the gate and asking them the same question. If they get on their little walkie-talkie speaker thing, right, that would solve that problem. But no. And then finally, we got an update an hour and a half after the flight was supposed to take off that they had to change a panel. They were waiting for I don't know what kind of panel. I don't know, like wood paneling, side panel on the side of the plane,
carbon fiber,
control panel in the cockpit. I don't know. It's just a panel. So, okay, so we're waiting for the panel. Well, the panel, all of a sudden, they say that they can't replace the panel. So they're looking for another plane. I guess they just have them lying around there. They're looking for another plane to get us on. So we had to go all the way across the airport. We got on a plane. We got home. It was about 2.5 hours late. But, just give us an update, a status, some bit of communication. That's all. Something, yeah. And you're right, something. And now I'd like to share this. I had some requests to show my Pam. Pam really liked my jeans. Pam, I really appreciate that.
Where were you when the voting was going on, Pam?
Listen, I think the voting is skewed. I don't think people understood because I went underneath that thread, and I was speaking of threads. Look at those threads right there. Yeah. I went underneath that thread, and people seem to like my jeans a lot.
You lost. That's all.
Those are some pretty hip jeans right there for a 50-year-old. I don't care what you say to me.
Just admit it.
Very exciting jeans. So, Anyway,
yeah, to end the story, what happened is I finally got back home. Connie's on her way to Rome. Phil finally got home, texted back. I wish I could show you the text. I can't because it has a lot of F-bombs. But my wife, I stayed pretty calm under these circumstances.
He was very calm. Very
Kind
calm,
of throwing
very
F-bomb after F-bomb. And I'm like, everything's going to work out in the end. Everything's going to be fine. I will make it happen. And she's like, F this, F that. F American Airlines, F. It's just constantly F-bombs going down. I don't care how it is.
Your wife's a pretty high strung there.
So what happened
let's get
is
to the smoker show. Should we get to the smoker show?
Yeah,
or something?
she gets the grease. Her bags get the grease. Everything is fine. Everything worked out in the end, just as Dimitri had predicted.
You know what? We all got home safe. We all got to where we needed to go safe. There was some frustration and aggravation, but most important thing, we're safe, and it was an incredible trip. It was a very successful trip, I thought, and we're going to share a lot with that, or share a lot of it with you tonight. Sorry if I'm stumbling over my words tonight. Well, I'm exhausted.
Yes.
I don't know what time. Like he said before, time zone. We're still not adjusted at all.
But we have to give you guys an update of what happened because we had a wonderful time. By the way, question from Addy Tooney: did Phil get you drunk with Flo again this year? That was the only night that we got drunk, and it was with Flo. That was the only night in this entire trip, and thankfully, because it was really difficult traveling constantly. I don't know. We changed like 7 planes on 8 planes in a 9-day period. So, but the only night that we did Phil got drunk, I got tipsy, was the night that we were with Flo from 𝗧𝗵𝗲 that makes the 𝘃𝗽𝗲, and we just had a wonderful time. It was a lot of fun.
There we are.
Yes, absolutely. There it is.
Yes.
So, all right. So let's get started. We started our journey going first to Stuttgart, Germany, right, Phil?
Yes, we did. Off to Stuttgart we went. I can't thank Ira enough. Ira, Dennis, Derek, or Dirk rather, for the work that they put into taking the Smoker Show seriously, and working to make the Smoker Show a success. They did a lot of groundwork, a lot of footwork, to get smokers to come into the show. They had people signed up. They had times for them to come in. There was an area there. Thank you, Dimitri, for sharing the photos. Basically, as soon as you walked in and you looked over to the left, there was the Smoker Show. We had 4 tables set up. They were giving T-shirts. They were giving Smoker Show T-shirts to the participants who came in, and they came in. We brought them over to the table that you're seeing right there. We got them set up with a device, a product that they liked. We got them set up with some e-liquid, and then off they went with the volunteers. Those volunteers were reviewers. They were retailers, basically whoever could help and speak German to these folks. And they sat there with them. We had the handouts for them, and they sat with them for like a long time too, anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, talking to these folks about vaping and getting them started and helping them with their kits and on how to use their kits. It was an extremely satisfying and rewarding experience, and I really hope that we get to do that again sometime very soon.
I have to say that it was done so good. A lot, sometimes, again, I don't want to downplay this if you're trying to help people quit smoking, but sometimes when somebody comes in or a friend, just give them a kit and, give me your pack of cigarettes, here's a kit, go on your way. It just does not work. It doesn't work. And we know it doesn't work. That's why the way that this was organized, it was scheduled. We had a group of people, 8 people every hour scheduled to come in. That way we knew we had enough volunteers that can sit down 30 minutes with them and cover everything. Let's find the right liquid, the right device, how much you smoke, where do you work, and all these questions that we've been talking about on the Smoker Show for, since day one. But also give them a little bit of idea of what to expect in the next week or so of you quitting smoking, but also what to expect in the show. And that's very, very important, what to expect on the show. By wearing the Smoker Show T-shirt that they were getting, this show itself, meaning the exhibitors, knew that this person was new. So they can be sensitive with the direction, with the lingo, with what they show them, what they tell them. I think that was very, very important because sometimes a lot of the new people are intimidated. You go to a booth and the guy says, "Oh, bro, 0.2, whatever, but when they see the shirt, they're like, oh, this is somebody new. I should be a little bit more cautious of what I say and maybe teach him something about vaping as well, too." The entire thing, Dirk and his team, and of course, Ira, of course, for believing in this and really investing in this. I can't say the volunteers, the YouTubers that came, just the vapers. It was just an amazing time to me. And I think I speak for Phil as well too. We do 20-25 shows a year. This was the first show in the last couple of years that I literally got up with such a hunger to go to the show, excited, in a great mood. I was dancing and singing on the way there because it was just a unique opportunity. And since this was the first time, I was very excited to see how it's going to go. We had 2 shows ask us to do it right, from when they saw it at Hall of Vape Jam in London, and 𝗧𝗵𝗲 in Paris wants us to do the Smoker Show live there. So that goes to show that they really understand what we're trying to do and the value that we do, not only from harm reduction standpoint, from business standpoint as well too. We're drawing new customers. Also, we got word that Germans want to do a Smoker Show type thing on YouTube as well too after they saw this, and also in Portugal they want to do a Smoker Show live as well too, just like we're doing over here. So the Smoker Show is spreading internationally, and trust me, you're not copyrighting, infringing anything. If you want to do it in your country, it's an honor, and we're pride for us that you can do something like this in your country with your own language. I think it'll be very helpful.
Absolutely. Like somebody was just asking about the lighters, Alexia. It was the show, the Ira and the team behind the show, they went out to smokers and they handed out those lighters, and the lighters acted as a free ticket to come in and be part of the Smoker Show, and you get the shirt with the lighter. And like Dimitri was saying during the show, because we did a bunch of lives at the show, that lighter was just a reminder. Every time the smoker took out a pack or a cigarette from the pack, put it to their mouth and lit that cigarette with that lighter, was a little reminder to them, saying, hey, you know what, maybe it is time for me to try something else, try a healthier alternative. And hopefully just seeing that every single time you light up a cigarette was like, I'm gonna go. I thought that was a brilliant idea. I thought that was a very good idea. And we had hoped that we were going to get about 60 people through the Smoker Show live both days, but based on the count of product, I think we did better than that.
Yeah, I think it was like 68. I think it ended up being total, plus a few here and there. Like we had some people bring employees that worked at the hall over there. We hooked them up. They just some random people here and there. We had a guy that was actually. We had a guy. I don't know if I can find that picture real quick. We had a guy that was at the show that came to buy for his company, and he went to Austin Hopper's booth, and Austin smelled the cigarette smoke. He's like, "You still smoking?" He's like, well, "I don't have anything here at the booth because they only have zeros there at the show." But he took him, B2B guy, and brought him over to the booth, and we hooked him up with an INNOKIN EQS, and it was really fantastic. I saw this. This was kind of unexpected because we had our sponsor stuff there, obviously, at the show. But what we also had was Diamond Mist from the UK gave us a bunch of liquid because we didn't have enough tobacco liquid, and they also gave us these kits. Let me see if I can pull this picture up. I think I have it right here. They gave us this kit that they have made, which is an INNOKIN EQS with 3 different liquids inside. It has a tobacco, a flavor, a strawberry, and then a menthol. So they gave us a bunch of those, and that's what we gave to that one guy that just randomly came in. So thanks to Diamond Mist, of course, for doing that. That was really nice of them.
Yeah, that was nice of them. If I could switch over to here, you could see the Diamond Mist e-liquid that is right here in this area. So thank you to them for that. And here's those Diamond Mist kits that we got as well from them too.
Yeah, fantastic. Let's talk about the show a little bit. Folks, hands down, this is the largest show in Europe.
Hey, before you go to the show, D, why don't you show, because we do have like some video from the Smoker Show live, just kind of walking around the group as they're talking to the smokers.
Sure,
can
absolutely.
You play that clip?
Absolutely. Let me do that right now. Let me switch to here.
Hi.
That's good, D.
All right.
I got a few more photos here of some of the groups that came through. That was actually me just shooting some B-roll for a video that I thought I was going to work on for tonight. But you can see some of the other folks here hanging out and getting some information about their new vape device.
I showed those photos earlier.
Okay. All right. Well,
on a screen where everybody can see them because it doesn't look very good in that screen.
All right.
But I'm just saying.
Whatever.
I showed them earlier. But anyway, the show itself, I mean, absolutely huge. It was just it is the largest show in Europe. They had 2 halls this year, and the largest selection of hardware that I have seen at a show anywhere except China. Phil, you agree?
Hands down, without a doubt, hands down. Every one of the major Chinese manufacturers were there, and some of the not so major manufacturers.
Over 25 Chinese manufacturers at a show. That's
There were all there. But not only that, they have by far the largest modders area of any show, and they've had that in the past. This year it was even more. So I mean, it's one of those places where if you want to get something really unique, something really special, you are going to find it at the show. If some company is releasing a new tank, it's going to be at the show. So not only did you have the modders gallery, but you had, companies like 𝗧𝗵𝗲, of course, was there. 𝗀𝗵𝗄 was there. Typhoon was there. It was just really the who's who of not only Chinese manufacturers, but also the high-end stuff too. It was there at the show.
And if you're in any capacity in the liquid business, you have to be at the Hall of Vape in Germany. So tons and tons of liquid companies as well too. But what I found really interesting was the hall that had most of the liquid, where almost all of the liquid, which was Hall 10, was very, very loud. And then Hall 9 that had a lot of the hardware and some of the liquid, which was the hall that we were in, and also the hall that the 𝗬𝗫𝗄 show was in, was much more toned down. And that kind of that gives you an idea of some of the issues that we have in our industry. The music is okay. I don't mind having some music in the background playing, but this competition between booths, instead of competing on how we're going to get our product in the hands of consumers, they're competing who's going to have the loudest DJ in their booth, was a huge turn on for me. And I'm a vapor of 10 years.
I think you meant a huge turnoff for you.
You can imagine how it can be a turnoff for people that don't know what vaping is. When you
not only that, Dimitri, and I agree with you. We heard a lot of complaints, and this is like the first time that we've heard complaints at the Hall of Vape, and really most of the complaints were just due to the volume level. But here's the crazy thing. Here's the thing that I don't understand, and I'm pretty sure you don't understand it either. During the B2B, business to business, when you're supposed to be kind of a professional business, selling your products, selling your liquid to other businesses, to other distributors, why the loud music during the B2B session?
Yeah, it makes no sense at all.
I don't understand that, not even a little bit. You're supposed to be making business deals. How can you be making business deals when you can't even hear the person that's standing right next to you?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't think anybody enjoyed it, but what I do appreciate is that 𝗧𝗏 is a person that listens. 𝗧𝗏 is a person that makes adjustments based on the feedback. He's not one of these that say, well, I'm just going to do my show like some other promoters that we know. He listened, and he's going to make the adjustments for next year's show. And I certainly appreciate the way that he's handling this, because it is very important for the show to continue to grow and people to go. Everybody needs to understand that it's up to the promoter to set the tone. You cannot let the vendors that come to the show set the tone. And I think that happened in Hall 10. Aside from that, Your video's flashing for some reason. I don't know why. But aside, yeah, it's from your feed. I don't know. But anyway, aside from that, the show was just fantastic. People got in like 20 minutes. You know, I mean, there were over 20,000 people on this show this entire weekend. No lines. Everybody got in quickly. Everybody was really happy. Everybody was really taken care of. The consumer presence was very, very strong, and just overall, I just really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. There is no show. There is, and I don't know why it's flashing. There could be a storm coming through. Yeah. If you lose me, I apologize. Go ahead and say something about my internet.
No, I'm not gonna say anything. Later.
There is no show. There is no show that can put, or that does put, as many people into the show as quickly as this show does.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen some of the videos that are out there. We don't really have a whole lot of video. I did do a live on the second day of the Smoker Show where I just kind of pointed the laptop towards the area where the people were just streaming in. And that's just half the people because there were 2 halls. So they kind of split up and went 2 different directions. But so well done. That show is so well organized. Everywhere you look, you see a crew. It's this side. A crew shirt, staff members helping out, helping people. And they're really concerned with like the vendors. They walk around. How are the vendors doing? How are the people doing? How's the show? How is the Smoker Show going? Just top notch from an organization standpoint. That show is second to none.
So we got a little video prepared and give you a little walkthrough, a little taste of the Hall of Vape 2019.
Welcome to the Hall of Vape 2019. We're back here in Stuttgart, Germany. Thanks a lot to the organizers and Ira and his entire team for inviting us back. Twice the size of it was last year, if it can get any bigger. And it was so big that it actually had to be split into 2 halls. So we have Hall 9 and Hall 10 that's on this side. Hall 10 was mostly e-liquids, and then Hall 9 on this side had a lot of hardware and some liquids as well too. So we're gonna give you a little tour, kind of sightseeing of what this show has turned into, just a massive, extraordinary event. And we're gonna start, of course, with Hall 10. All right, so that was the liquid side, and actually the noisier side, although it's a little bit toned down today. And now we're going to head over to the hardware side, and we will stop by the Modders Gallery to see all the fancy stuff that's going on there at the Hall of Vape, Germany.
at the Modders Gallery. This is one of the biggest Modders Gallery they've done at the Hall of Vape. As far as I know, the biggest Modders Gallery anywhere to date. I don't know if you can tell, but this goes all the way down to the end of the hall right here. Modders on both sides. Boy, if you want to drop some money, this is the place to do it right now at the Hall of Vape. Let's check out some of these mods.
That's a lot of wood, bro.
That's a lot of wood. You know, by the way, that video probably shows you 40% of the show.
Does it?
Right? 40, if that, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's impossible to actually walk the whole thing and give you guys a really good look at it. But hopefully you get an idea. You get an idea of at least how big that show is. And you might notice, you might look at that and say, there weren't as many people there as there were last year. And that's actually incorrect. There were more people that went through the doors this year than last year. But because there were two halls, see, they should call it the halls of vape now, not the Hall of Vape. But because it was split between two halls, it spread the people out, right? Which made the show not look as busy, but it also made it a lot more comfortable to walk around.
Yes, and it was comfortable. It was cool, especially in Hall 9. And overall, just an amazing job by Ira and his crew. Always a pleasure to go there. Before we continue, we want to talk a little bit about our tour in Germany. Just a quick word from our sponsors. All right. Thanks to INNOKIN for sponsoring, of course, the show. We certainly appreciate it. And I do.
Wait. Oh,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
No, go
All
ahead,
right.
please.
Bacon Black. I think I'm saying that right. 1980. My screen shouldn't be flashing anymore. I shut like everything down.
Okay.
Asked me about if I got the new, if I got a hold of the new Typhoon GTR. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Right there.
And the vape's fantastic. So really well
It
done.
does. It
Yeah.
really does. I'll go ahead and vape it for you.
I'll vape before you too.
Mm-hmm. There, I vaped it.
Delicious mouth to lung clouds. Absolutely. But we did have a really good time in Germany. Aside from just the show, we did get to spend a couple of days extra there in Stuttgart. Dennis and Costas, two of the team members from the Hall of Vape, took us around. We had some wonderful meals, and we had some really fun adventures. We went we drove go-karts with Phil. That was a lot of fun. And
I won, by the way.
Yeah, you did. I'm not going to get into that. You cheated again, but you did. But we had some amazing meals too. Let me get some of these pictures up for you guys to see. A lot of schnitzel. A lot of schnitzel in
a lot of what?
Schnitzel in Germany.
Still can't say it.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. We had a lot of that was what's that called? Spitzel?
No, that's Spatzel.
I got you saying
look, it's okay. So you can get Spatzel. It's like pasta, right? Spatzel, but you can get it with cheese, right?
Yeah.
And that's it with cheese and caramelized onions, and it's like the best mac and cheese you've ever had. It's so good, so good.
Yeah, a lot of great food, a lot of meat. You see there. That's some of the meals that we had that we enjoyed there. We did get to go to the not Space Tower. This is what was this called? I forgot. This is a big tower that you can see all of Stuttgart around, and that's me. That's me jumping from the tower when I heard. When I found out about the PMTA requirements that were released today, but seriously, the views from up there were just absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, they really were. That was funny. I mean, I caught that. That was me taking the photo, and a fly got in the photo, and it looks like a little person jumping off the tower.
I know, it was great.
Of course,
it was great.
We laughed at that.
Yeah, we just had a really good time, and we got to go to an authentic beer garden. Yeah, that was a lot of fun too. We ended up going there with Aaron Biebert and his wife and the entire team, and they put me to work serving beers. But here's the entrance to the place, and you kind of see what an authentic German beer garden looks like inside. There is Aaron and his wife. He's working on the You Don't Know Nicotine documentary, which both me and Phil were interviewed for. And this is one of our last meals there. Went to Costa's Greek restaurant. So Greek with a little German flair. We had just an amazing meal there. That's probably one of your favorites, right, Phil?
Absolutely. You know, Ira takes us there every year that we've gone to the show, and that is absolutely one of my favorites. Yes, I absolutely like the German food, but the food there at that restaurant is amazing. It's that Greek thing, man.
Yeah, and it was nice to have those extra couple of days to because usually when we travel a lot, like we did in the next two countries that we went, we don't have much time to see anything, and it was nice taking a couple of days, and I think we're gonna start trying to make that more of a habit because it's nice to take a little downtime and also share the culture and experience the culture of the different countries that we're going to, because it's very important to get to know the people and sit down and talk to them and see these places that are famous. And it was just a nice experience for me, and who better to share it with than my BFF. So it was
we're really blessed that we've gotten to share so many things, so many experiences, so many places together, and I could think of nobody I'd rather have at my side, even with all of the ball busting that comes along with that. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It's one thing to go to one place for 10 days, but like be at that place and be able to like unpack your suitcase and kind of live out of the hotel room. It's much different to go to 3 countries in 10 days and you're living out of the suitcase. That does get to be a drag after a while, without a doubt.
Let me address one question in the chat, if I don't mind. New vapor question: currently using the 𝗧𝗵𝗲. Should I buy a kit with a Zenith tank or a separate mod and a slide tank? First thing I will tell you is that if you're happy with the Smoke Novo, you don't have to buy anything. I'm just saying it. I'm even saying it for our own products. If you're happy with what you got now, you don't have to. If you want to splurge, if you want to indulge, if you're not happy with it, if you want to go to something bigger battery, a little easier to work with, I would highly suggest that you go for the Zenith tank as the next step. The slide tank works just like the Zenith tank, so you can match it up with different devices as well too. So if you want a different device and match the slide tank, it's a good combination. See, a lot of people are using it with a Pico, and it looks really good with a Pico. But the Zenith tank just works. It's just one of these tanks that you just open it up, you fill it, you're done. You change the coil. It's a little bit more economical. You get better battery life. You get longer longevity on the coils, and you get bigger capacity than a pod system like the Smoke Novo.
Yeah, for sure. And by the way, I don't know if you've seen the new colors. This is the new chroma with the Zenith. This is the electroplated blue. that a lot of people have asked for. So that is a brand new color for our Zenith tank.
Look at that.
And I think, Dimitri, you have the new gunmetal.
God, look at how sexy the gunmetal is. I just really like it. I just do. Just came out so good.
It really does look good. I know some people asked for more. They called it like a mature look on the chroma.
Yeah.
Right. But I think that chroma in gunmetal is an extremely mature look. I think that is a really sharp looking mod.
So if you want to get the chroma and the Zenith, you should get this color. You should get the gunmetal. I just think it's just really, really good looking. Last thing that I want to talk about Germany before we move on to the next country. Again, it's very, very important that I bring this up. It's something that we really should pay attention to. We were walking in Stuttgart and we happened to come across this. So, Phil.
Yeah. So what you're seeing right there, folks, is an ICO store. Okay, and this was in one of the major shopping districts in Stuttgart, a beautiful area. But I really want you to see the quality of this store. You know, how we didn't actually go in. We just took some photos from the outside. But I mean, look at how things are presented. Look at how they're displayed. Look at the professionalism there. We can learn some stuff from that ICO store. Oh. And you know, while we're having fun with our conventions and our loud music and maybe not so professional a look, we got this. This is what we're dealing with, folks. These guys are going to come in. And they're going to take a lot of the mature adult smokers that maybe could have found vaping, but didn't like the way it looked, and didn't like the perception of vaping. And now you've got ICOs coming in here and doing things like this. And I've heard that Juul is going to start opening retail locations as well.
So you see inside here, one thing that I noticed, and one of the reasons why I snapped this picture is, this young lady right here. These are the type of customers that unfortunately we're not welcoming into the vape stores. And you might argue with me, you might dispute what I'm saying, but there is a huge truth to it, and just some people are they're just not ready to admit that we have lost this demographic. And to my opinion, every smoker is important to me. Don't get me wrong, every smoker is important to me, but more importantly are the ones that are in that demographic of age past 40 that have been smoking for 20 years plus that really need to quit smoking. Those are the ones that we should be really targeting because they have been smoking for such a long time. Their health is probably detrimental, and we need to make it more welcoming for them to come into vape stores. So if you're going to do
I'm sorry, the usual disclosure there. Not all shops are like that. Some shops are much more approachable than other shops. But I think, the more I drive around, the more I look at shops, the more I see, it's not just vape anymore. It's vape and glass and pipes and kratom and CBD and just being advertised in the shop windows. When you look at that ICO store and you look at, some of the behaviors in the vape world, you tell me what's going to be more attractive to a mature adult smoker. I think it's pretty obvious.
I totally agree. And it's just a heap of warning for you guys that might be smokers looking at this. When you go into a store, if you feel uncomfortable, there's nothing wrong with you turning around and finding another place, okay? Don't feel because you went into one vape store that defines our industry or that defines what we're doing, or it should deter you from trying vaping, okay? It should not. You're definitely going to find a store in your neighborhood. Do what Pam did. Just Google your area and get a list of the vape stores and go around until you find one that matches your personality and also has the staff and the expertise to help you quit smoking. It's very, very important. So don't give up. That's the reason why we wanted to show you the IQOS, and hopefully it'll trigger some people in this industry to take a look at it and say, hey, what are we doing now? So anyway, that was our adventure in Stuttgart. A lot of fun, and look forward to going again next year. Ira has promised that we're going to do the Smoker Show bigger and badder and with more smokers, and hopefully we'll shoot for 100 people next year. So in my opinion, yeah.
I'm sorry. One of the things that Ira does is after the show, he sits us down and he says, what was good? What was bad? What do we need to fix? And Dimitri kind of alluded to this before. And I love that Ira does that because he takes everything that we say very seriously. But the other thing that I noticed about Ira, this guy is like everything's turning constantly. He works hard. He works hard to bring you guys a really, really good event. And he works hard to make the event better next time. And he knew He knew everything that we were going to say. He already identified all the things that were wrong this time. And he was already, you could see his wheels spinning. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this without even me and Dimitri talking to him. So, you know, Ira wants to keep that show professional. He does not want it to turn into a circus. He felt like it got a little bit out of control and a little bit away from him this time. And I guarantee you that's not going to happen the next time. So, and speaking of Ira, Ira really helped out with your suitcase issue.
Oh my God, you had to bring that up, didn't you?
No, I absolutely have to bring that. Not only did I have to bring that up, but I did a little edit for you as well, and I'm sure you're gonna play that like right now.
I guess I will. I didn't want to, but I guess I will. By the way, just a little preface on this video. When we were in China, we had to buy an extra suitcase to bring some of the stuff back because we didn't have enough room. So we went to the Chinese market, and on Phil's recommendation, 100 suitcases there. He picked one, and I wanted to pick one that's like his. You know, so we're BFFs. I just picked a different color than his, but the actual selection of the suitcase was Phil's.
See this little metal bar? Yeah. This little metal bar.
This here, exactly. This needs to go in.
So we push that.
Then it's here should be 𝗃𝗽𝗲𝗏. No. Okay, no problem.
It's like, look, I was just sweating my ass off trying to get this thing shut for a fucking half an hour. Now I get to enjoy a little while.
I know, it's fucking Chinese.
Where'd you get that from, dude?
Shenzhen, #1 quality. Oh, wait. I swear to God, I hope they fucking pull you over the TSA and fucking rape you. I hope they fucking rape you. I like them. This is the fucking chickens.
How will we be able to tell which suitcase is yours?
It's unbelievable.
Look at this.
We caused the whole international incident, the whole event.
Wow.
I didn't need your money. That's okay.
No, it's usually me that has the problems.
Man, let me tell you something. It's your fault because you're the one that chose those bags in China. You said it's #1 Shenzhen quality.
No.
You said those look good. I want to get that one.
You said you had to have the gunmetal one.
No,
That's what you
right,
said.
but you picked
I
this
said to get the
style.
pink one. Did I not say to get the pink
Right,
one?
but it was
Right.
the same style.
You
You
should've-
picked this
no,
style.
you
It
should've
was
got
your
the pink
fault.
one.
You picked that
Should've
style,
got the pink
and this
one.
is what I
You
get.
should've got the pink
I'm
one.
in Germany, having to wrap my stuff around like I'm a gypsy. I have to take myself around Europe in a wrapped up plastic bag. All your fault.
Got it. Oh, 0 fucks given. I almost lost you there, D. I was gonna throw myself in front of that van for you.
I just want to point out that 𝗃𝗽𝗏𝗀 picked this suitcase, so if anything goes wrong between now and me getting back home, it's 𝗃𝗽𝗏𝗀's fault.
It's a really nice looking suitcase, though. I'm glad you went with the soft side instead of the hard, though.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I think it's a smarter choice.
Very lightweight.
Very lightweight, very nice.
That was great.
The only thing you hear from me is just me laughing. I'm just laughing hysterically at this whole scene. Now, keep in mind, this all started in the hotel room. All right, so and I go over to Dimi's hotel room. He's got all this crap, and he doesn't pack neatly. Dimitri does not pack. He's kind of a thrower inner. And so I was freshly showered. I was.
I'm a thrower inner. Is that what you call me?
You're a thrower inner.
I am.
I was freshly showered. I was clean. There was no sweat, nothing. And he's like, I can't get my bag closed. So now we got the suitcase and we're trying to get it closed in his hotel room. Of course, I jump in there like a good friend and I'm helping him. We're on top of the suitcase. We're below the suitcase. We're underneath the suitcase. The suitcase is on the bed. It's off the bed. It's on the bed. It's off the bed. Finally, I get my side closed. He still can't get his side closed. He's like, screw it. We'll just roll it down. And that's when the camera came out and I just started rolling. I'm just hysterical, just laughing. It's funny.
It was really funny. I think one thing that we have learned in our travels is that we are going to buy body cameras.
Yes.
We're going to start a GoFundMe or something like that to raise money to get body cameras that we're going to wear in order to capture 24/7, because a lot of the stuff that you guys see, you miss probably about 75% of really, really funny stuff that happens that we just don't have the camera with us at that particular time. So, I mean, people are starting GoFundMe for silly reasons. I can find us to start a GoFundMe for something that will bring you some more entertainment in your life. And by the way, the picture that you saw, the one that had the suitcase on the trash can, the reason why I did that is because I wanted the maids that were going to clean the hotel room to understand that bag was trash. So the only thing I could think of doing is like putting it on this small tiny trash can that was there. I thought that was really, really funny.
Clear as mud to me. I totally understood.
I did see.
I almost got you getting hit by a car there too.
Yeah. That was a little bit weird. But I was just walking and this guy was backing up, just absolutely no concern about my safety. Just press the gas, and I just literally just jumped out of the way when it happened. But it was really fun. All right, let's move along because we're running out of time. Okay. So we took off from Stuttgart and we traveled to Portugal. We were not planning on going to Portugal, but it just happened to be that way. Our distributors in Portugal, Vapor is Art, had a little event for us in Lisbon at one of their stores. So what we did is we took off from Stuttgart 2 days before the show in Madrid, and we went to Lisbon, Portugal, and we got to experience 38 hours of Portugal, believe it or not. But I was really impressed with Vapor is Art team, the owners, the staff, the professionalism. Our discussions were, starting at harm reduction, business, and in the future. They're very, very focused on maintaining a business model of Vapor is a professional industry that can help people quit smoking. And that was evident in everything that they did, from their stores, from their wholesale, from the distribution, from the way that they present themselves, from their staff and everything. Anything you want to add there, Phil?
Is this where you wanted me to jump in?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought those guys were terrific. They were very conscious of the importance of cessation and the importance of switching and the importance of gaining new customers, right? They continue to say, and we continue to hear this, not so much in Portugal, but more in Spain and Madrid, where the focus for vaping was much more hobby oriented, much more about the fun and about the clouds. And then they go outside and they light up a cigarette. And when you talk to them and we ask them about like, well, how much mouth to lung is in the shops? And they say not a lot of mouth to lung is in the shops. And when we ask why, they continue to say that they don't sell. They don't sell. That scares me, guys. That really scares me, because that leads me to believe what we're seeing happening here a little bit is going to happen there as well, right? If you have a store, you don't carry small, medium, and double extra large. You don't, right? Even if you don't have a lot of sales in the large and extra large, you still carry those sizes because you want to attract those customers and you don't want to alienate those customers, right? I can't stress how important it is to create new customers. What happens when we create a new customer? We get somebody off of a cigarette. We maybe help them lead a healthier lifestyle, right? But we also we have a new customer that's going to come in and support the shop and support the vaping industry. This whole closed-minded thing where, we don't have a lot of mouth to lung we don't have higher nicotine. That's a problem, guys. That's a problem. And you know what happens? What happened when we didn't have higher nicotine? Well, here comes Juul with their 50 milligram, or now here comes IQOS. We have to think about conversions. We have to think about tobacco harm reduction. We have to think about creating new customers. We have to think about converting more smokers over to vaping.
I totally agree, and they do, and it's evident because their business keeps growing. You see a lot of repeat clients in their stores. They convert a lot of people. Portugal is very MTL driven and very conversion driven, which is a great contrast from Spain. Being so close that these countries are, it's complete opposite. But what we see in Portugal is that a lot of the stores are continuing to grow. We're seeing a lot of people switching to vaping and sticking with vaping, which is a very, very important part. I'm telling you this because there's a lot of dual users all across the world. There's a lot. And one of the reasons I believe is because a lot of these stores shift a lot of their focus to the advanced vapor and stay away from the satisfaction of keeping a smoker off cigarettes, which is very, very important. But before we get into that, let's just play a little video. We'll show you the show and the event that they had prepared for us. You want to give a little, prelude to this event and what it was all about, Phil?
Yeah, so they had an event at their shop, and it was just like kind of a meet and greet with us. Now, Daniel, DJ LSB, was supposed to be there, okay? And I really felt horrible for his situation. They brought his wife in. They brought his kids in. Daniel hasn't seen his wife and kids in a long time because he's here in the States and they're in Portugal. But his lawyer told him that one of the documents either wasn't signed or didn't go through, so he could fly to Portugal. The problem is he couldn't get back into the United States if he went, right? I'm sorry, my WeChat is going off here. Let me lower the volume. Dimitri, take it from here.
All right. So again, the event was at one of the Vapor is Art stores. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to give you a little look of the event, but also show you the setup of the store and show you how things are kind of done there compared to what we generally see as a vape store here in the United States. So Phil did a really good job at editing this video, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Before you play it, I'm sorry.
This area that we were just up here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Before you play the video, I just wanted to let everybody know that the first part of this video actually happens in Portugal. Okay, this is the Vaporiz Art store, and then the second part where we see the booth. At that point, we're in Madrid. Okay, at the 𝗧𝗵𝗀 Madrid show.
I can pause it when that starts, and we can talk about it afterwards if you want to do that.
It'll play right through.
Okay.
All right. So this area that we were just up here is like a DIY lounge area for the customers. Keep in mind that we're in Europe. So a lot of the big bottles, well, none of the big bottles have nicotine inside. So you can purchase your liquid downstairs, come upstairs here, you can sit do DIY, mix up your liquid, and also look at a little lounge area you can hang out. It's pretty cool. This is the shopping mall that this store is in. You can see it's got restaurants, it's got burger places. Down here on the right is Cristiano Ronaldo's shop. He's a big famous Portuguese soccer player with the World Cup and all that. But yeah, it's got all kinds of houses on top, apartments, like a housing area is on top, and then down here it has all the shops, and this is where Vaporiz are. Okay. And this is the fifth location that they have here. Also, exclusive distributor of INNOKIN products here in Portugal, and they distribute products in Spain as well too.
Take us in, D.
All right. So one of the things I absolutely love about this shop, and if any of you guys back there in America are looking to have vape shops, and you've thought about remodeling your store, this is just a great idea. I'm just so against having those, glass display cabinets that are at the counter. The customers kind of get stuck in the front. What they have done is they have done individual displays here with a variety of hardware. There's a couple things here. You can brand it, obviously. If somebody's brand, recognition and loyalty, they want to find something from JOYETECH or eLeaf that can be gravitated to that case. But the other thing that it does here is it gives room for the customers to move around. And you don't have to be constantly with them showing something at the display case. So they can come around here and just kind of walk around, window shop, look at the new devices that are here. They feel no pressure to buy anything. It's very, I'm not going to call it Apple-like. This is very smart retail, in my opinion, especially for our product. And what they've done is got a little blend of mix, just a great selection of products. You have them on display here, but also they have a lot of high-end stuff as well, too. So if you want to feature some of your high-end stuff, look at that. They have Golden Greek, they have Nemesis, 𝗏𝗵𝗲 Hussars, 𝗧𝗵𝗲, the K funds over there. Just really, really fantastic. So one of the things that we noticed that we're just really humbled and proud of, all of their testers are in Zenith tanks. And now you might say, hey, Dimitri, what about the cloud chasers? There's a lot of people here that in Europe that still convert smokers, and they want to make sure that the liquid that they're going to buy is going to be tested, and usually some of the stuff that they start them off with, which is generally Zenith tanks or Spironol or something like that. The Zenith tank's a little bit easier to fill and maintain, so you can see all the way down here, all the testers are done in Zenith tanks. So really, really cool. See all the flavors there on top, and then the matching tank on the bottom. And of course, proudly over here, we got an entire cabinet for the INNOKIN product. See down here the Aries, the slide tank, the Zenith tanks by themselves, the beeps, T18-2s, T22s, EQs, the Coolfire kit. This Coolfire kit here sells very, very well in Portugal for the beginners, and also the Chroma. It's still one of the best-selling kits here. So yeah, pretty exciting.
Do we want to tease anything?
Do you want to tease something? Yeah, there might be an Aries 2 pretty close to development. So yeah. So for those of you that enjoyed the Aries or didn't enjoy the Aries and want to try something new, Aries 2 is hopefully we'll have a prototype in a couple of weeks. K funds, buy one get 10 free, only for today. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm sitting over here with Pedro, and this is Mauricio, aka Morris, aka Maurice. aka good-looking guy that I have here at the store. Alligator eyes. So yeah, I find it really interesting that the TPD was implemented in the EU to help consumer protect them, have safety for the consumer, and also to make vaping available as a harm reduction tool. And I'm against the TPD. I think it's brought a lot of bad into the market as well too. And one of the things that I find really interesting, as you said earlier, one of the struggles that you have with new customers is when they come in, we have to go through the entire, True. How are you going to fill this tank? How are you going to prime the coil? This is a battery. I mean, it's a whole entire,
It's intimidating.
Isn't it?
It's
right?
overwhelming.
30 45 minutes to go through that. But now, with the liquids, because of the limitation of the bottle, you really have to make them a chemist. Now you have to open up the lid. So tell me about your experience has been, especially with older customers. That's something that me and Phil are very close to our heart, is older people that smoke. They should be vaping too, right? True, so tell me some of your struggles that you encounter with your customers every day.
Normally, we have to explain sometimes more than once and very calmly. We usually, I know there's also 100 ml bottles, and the 60 ml, actually 50 ml, so it has like a space for the nick shot. That's another topic.
Yeah.
Also, we can recommend them like for a smaller dosage. There's also like a few 30 ml bottles, so they can they can have like available and higher nicotine. So we just try and make it simple for them to use, but it's still sometimes a bit complicating to try them and start. For them to start to vape is not that difficult sometimes. The most difficult part is for them to continue to vape, to maintain the customer. Later on, most of them actually, I'm very surprised that they do come back, and they just see that it's actually quite simple, just to change the coil, just unscrew it, pull it out, put a new one, and that's it.
Yeah, especially if you have a Zenith tank. But, this is something that me and Phil talk about in our seminar.
Just push it open.
Yeah. So this is something that me and Phil talk about in our seminar. It's not difficult to make the first sale, but how do we keep people coming back and staying off cigarettes?
Exactly.
And how long have you been in this business? How long have you been working in a vape shop?
Well, actually, I'm a newcomer here as working in a vape shop. It's about 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
Actually.
And in your country here and in your area, have you seen more people try vaping, or do you think that there's less and less people that are trying vaping?
I think there's a lot of misinformation. People get like overwhelmed of the amount of vapor. Sometimes people like vape, they see like the amount of vape. Oh, that's a huge amount. That's a huge cloud. Maybe it's worse than cigarettes.
Right.
There's a huge misinformation about the whole vape thing.
We need to teach them etiquette as well too when they're new customers. So
exactly.
Morris, tell me, did you get all the lady customers that come inside here?
I don't speak very
That's
well
okay.
English.
That's all right. Don't worry. We don't speak very good Portuguese
I'm
anyway.
try,
Do you take all the lady customers that come inside here, or do they get any over here?
Yeah,
almost exclusively all the women.
Yeah.
How long have you been working here?
the single
I
ladies.
work here.
And the married, he said, I don't know.
Since we opened this store, 2015.
2015.
Yeah.
Do you see older people, women, come into this to the store, or do you see mostly what we generally see in the vape stores is younger males that are coming in to try vaping?
Yeah, sure. A lot of women and
A lot of
younger-
older
yeah,
people?
Yeah, older people.
Do you have more satisfaction if you help somebody that's 60-year-old quit smoking, or somebody that's 20-year-old smoking?
Oh, that's a difficult question.
Yeah, it feels good either way.
Yeah, I think.
What has been the
Because the guy is starting to vaping with 20 years.
yeah?
He probably don't smoke more.
Right,
Okay?
right.
And the older people,
Yeah.
I think it's a finish, and it's hard to stop smoking.
It's very hard.
with the vaping, and
Yeah.
that's of course.
What is the number one complaint people come? Like if somebody's a new person, he comes in and he buys a setup and they leave. They come back and they say, what is the number one thing that they say something went wrong? So what is the most common complaint that you have from a customer? A new person.
A new person.
Yeah. Is it leaking? Is it dry hits? Is it coil? Is it battery? What's the number one complaint?
Maybe leaking.
Leaking?
Yeah. Maybe leaking.
You need to get the Zenith, by the way. Yeah, no, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Of course, depends the
The atomizer, yeah.
the atomizer, but maybe leaking.
Yeah. So there you have it, folks. We are here with Pedro and the good-looking Maurice, and yeah, come a little bit closer.
There you go.
I will stress this, and I will keep stressing it on this trip. People back in the United States need to look at what these stores are doing, the way that they're setting up the store, the way that the employees are handling the customers. Older people need to vape as well too. They need more to vape than us younger people, right? Me, not you, Phil. But if you are a 60-year-old smoker, that means you've been smoking for 30 years. It's critical for them to discover vaping. We have to make it easy. We have to have the right staff be trained. We need to be educated. We need to be able to sit down with them as long as it takes, 1 hour, 2 hours. Make sure that they leave the vape shop happy and to keep coming to stay off cigarettes. So thanks for you guys for what you're doing, and congratulations on the shop. It looks
Thank you very
fantastic.
much.
Thank you. And I'm sorry, maybe he'll let you have a couple of the girls too that come in.
Yeah, I mean, it takes all of them.
Just really impressive setup, Phil. I mean, I was just blown away by not only how professional the shop is, the passion that the employees have. They have this drive that I remember us having here 5-6 years ago. And I know I sound like I'm doom and gloom, but folks, come on, it's reality. We have to be honest with ourselves that this product is such an amazing product, and we took it and we made it into a joke, and we have to go back to the basics and help people quit smoking.
Not only a passion there too, but a very family-oriented business. Even though they weren't family, they were a family. They were a close-knit group. And boy, do I look forward to going. One of the things that's really sad when you travel the way Dimitri and I do, and I did a little post on this, is you meet people that you wind up loving. I mean, you meet people that can really, you can call them your friends, and it's so nice. It's such a great feeling to know that you have friends all over the world, but it's also sad because they're so far away, and you want to hang out with and enjoy their company. There's a lot of things in that clip that I want to talk about. And one of it has to do with the TPD rather, and the whole short fill thing and the shake and vape thing. But before I do, did you guys catch this? Did you catch this photo right there at the shop? That was like a blast from the past for me. I mean, that's kind of like where the whole custard thing started. You remember Grant's custard?
Yeah, absolutely, and it's still around, still very popular.
It is. It's still around, but going to the events and trying the liquids, and you might find a liquid that you love, and I found a couple liquids that I loved, and then they say, here, we want you to have the liquid, and then you get the liquid and you look at the bottle and there's like this much space left at the top because you have to add your own nicotine, and then I got one bottle and I look at it and the bottle's got this much liquid in it, and the bottle's this big, it's got this much liquid in it. Because I have to be a chemist. Now I have to take this that has the flavorings only, and I have to add the PG, and I have to add the VG, and I have to know how much of each that I want to add, and then I have to add the nicotine, and I have to know how much that I want to add to get to the nicotine strength that I want. Guys, I don't want you to live in this world. I don't want to live in that world. It's so important to fight for a right to vape and not deal with that bullshit. That's bullshit. That is going to make vaping so difficult for people. And we talked about that in the video. It's going to make it unapproachable for people. People are not going to want to do that. I want to go and I want to buy a finished product, and I want to put that product in my tank, and I want to enjoy it. I don't want to be a chemist. I don't want to have to mix that. When you buy a pack of cigarettes, you don't get like a paper tube and you have to put your own tobacco in there and then add your own filter. You don't have to do that. You just take the stick out of the box and you light it on fire. All right. I don't want to live in a world where I can't buy a finished product on the shelf. That would be annoying to me.
Also,
and I can't
there's
really
a huge
imagine how annoying that would be to a smoker.
The huge problem with the short fills is that you can't achieve 12 milligrams strength in a 50 mil short fill, which is 50 mils of zero nicotine, and then you add a nicotine shot. The highest that you can get is 6 with a booster shot. So with the aromas, you can, but like you said, you have to be a chemist to get there, to calculate what it's going to take. Sometimes it takes away from the flavor of the finished product as well, too, which is another thing a lot of people don't take in consideration, is that once you start diluting that aroma, then you can lose some of the flavor, what the original recipe would be. There's so many things that are wrong with this. For an advanced vapor, it's okay if they know what they're doing. They can get, regular nicotine, not nicotine shots, like 100 milligram, and do some calculations and make their bottle to the desired nicotine strength. But we all know that in order for people to quit smoking, they have to have high nicotine, right? So it's virtually impossible with a short fill to achieve that. So your only option is to get 10 mils. And I suggest 10 mils for people that are starting off by far, because the flavor changes. It's easier for them to move on to new profiles. They don't have to commit to a big bottle. But at some point, you have to think economically as well, too, how that's going to work out. So the big bottles give you the opportunity to get at a cheaper price. So then the dilemma is, if you're vaping on 12 milligram in a 10 mil bottle, then you're going to shift to a short fill to save some money. You might not be able to get that nicotine that your body's desiring, and guess what? You're going to go back to smoking, which has happened to a lot of people. So there's a lot of things for a regulation that's created to protect the consumer. There's a lot of things wrong with the TPD that I hope in future TBD revisions that will be taken care of and that will be fixed. It's also opened up a big loophole because zero nicotine liquids in the EU do not have to go through the same stringent restrictions as a nicotine final product, which has to go through testing and emissions testing and all that, which means a lot of people have dumped a lot of product into the market that, I mean, you know, whatever, it is what it is, but just keep that in mind as a consumer as well, too. I think that if you're going to take anything from this particular segment, meaning the Portugal and the shop that we went to, is don't let your ego get in the way of seeing how other people do it and trying to improve your business and bring you customers and ultimately help smokers convert from smoking.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Hey, speaking of bottles, I have a new favorite bottle.
Yes, I saw it today. I was impressed. I just couldn't believe it. That's just a brilliant idea.
This is a great. So this like just came in the mail while I was away. And you know, this isn't a paid sponsorship or anything, but it came in and I wanted to share it with you guys. You remember Kai or K? I think it's Kai. He was the guy behind the Russian and the Russian 91%.
Mm-hmm.
He sent me these new bottles, and he's calling them the Russian bottle, the Russian bottle. And here it is, right? So you got the this side, you got the tip right there. And you know, like if you want to refill this or something like that, it's kind of a pain in the butt. Well, watch this. Look at this. Aha. Look at that. And you can fill it up on that side. I think that's I think that's cool. Like, because I got like some liquid here and I want to put I want to top this off. And this is the naked all melon, right? So I open up this side. Look at that. I don't have to mess around and pull that tip out.
Yeah.
And I go ahead and take my my liquid here. If I can get this open. I hate glass
childproof.
I hate dripper bottles like with a passion. And look how easy this is. Watch this. I'm going to do it right over the computer, right over the monitor, right over the keyboard and everything. I'm just pouring that in there. That is pretty cool. That's a good idea.
That's a great idea.
I like good ideas. That is a good idea.
I like it too. I don't think that from a regulatory standpoint that bottle would make it.
Probably not.
But I think for the DIYer or somebody that wants to buy it and transfer their liquid, I think that's a great idea. It's just brilliant. Yeah.
I love that idea.
I agree. You know, overall, in as far as the vaping, you know, seeing ideas like that, like you look at it and you're like, man, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, I know, right?
First, right? I mean, it's just
like the cargo tank. Why didn't I think of the cargo tank first?
Well,
I mean, it's like so obvious. Right?
Map did. Anyway, let's play just a quick piece from one of our sponsors, and we can be right back. I can't wait for this to come in. I think that this is a really good idea with it. Oh, you got it already? How come I don't have it?
Yeah. I am, guys, I am so far behind on the reviews with all this travel and everything else that's going on, but I am looking forward to trying this. Here's what I hope.
12 milligrams.
Because I'm noticing this with a lot of products now at this point. I judge a product as successful for me if it satisfies the 12 milligrams.
Yeah.
Right. That's my happy place. That's where I want to be. And that's where so I'm really hoping that this satisfies at 12 milligrams and does not require either 18 or a salt. Right. So I'm hoping. Somebody asked if those bottles are available. If you guys remember their website, hold on a second. where? Oh, I thought I had them here. Go ahead, Dimitri. Talk.
No, yeah, I'll talk. Yeah, I think that E-roll. I saw a comment that it's retro. I think yeah, there is some retroness to it, but it's an open device that looks like a cigarette with a PCC case. And again, we have to think about smokers. For us vapors, we might look at that and say, oh, what, whatever. It is what it is. And now with a salt nic hype, again, who are we trying to sell this? Are we trying to sell it to existing vapors so they can use high nic salt nicotine in it? I mean, what? I don't get it. But for us, for me and Phil, we always have to look at these products because these products are the ones that we eventually might be suggesting to a smoker to try. And if it works and if it works well, we're certainly going to tell you. And if it's just another tool in our arsenal that we can give to a smoker to quit, why not? Absolutely, yeah.
I think it's a good idea. Whether or not it's retro is beside the point. What if this is the right device for a smoker? What if this is the device because it's so small and because it's round and because it looks like a cigarette is attractive to a smoker? I think that's a win. Yeah. Whether or not it's retro or not is beside the point, right? Some people do not want to carry this, or some people do not want to carry this, or some people do not want to carry this, or some people are uncomfortable with the look and the feel of some of the new pods, And so here we have something that looks and feels a little bit more like a cigarette. Maybe something you could, remember the V, like that's comfortable to people.
Yeah.
I think that's a win, right? But it's got to be satisfying.
Yeah, we just have to hope that it works very well.
All right, so I found the website. I'm going to go ahead and put this up on the screen. We should be getting a paid sponsorship for this.
Yeah, we should. We should. So we can get some body cameras.
And I'll go like this right here. No, oh shit. Okay, never mind. Let me try that again. Go back to the other camera. When I switched cameras, it went away. Here, I'll just type it. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm typing it.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, it's like a live typing by
hold on. Don't laugh at me.
How can I not laugh at you? I mean, seriously. I mean, it's so embarrassing. Who's going to pay for a sponsorship when it's taking you 15 minutes to type the website? Really?
It's even more valuable. I needed to get my glasses. There you go. That's it right there. Okay.
𝗧𝗵-online.de.
Yeah, I think that's the same. the same website where the Russian originally came from.
Yeah,
well, that's the same guy, right?
Looking forward to getting some of those bottles myself. I'd say they look very, very,
very
exciting.
I'm digging them, man. They sent me like a whole bunch of different colors too. Like I have the blue and the red. If I push this button right here, I'll go back. And they sent me like a white and a black one. But that's a really good idea.
Yeah, one of the things that we picked up while we were in Spain as well too. Believe it or not, there's a new liquid line that was launched in the EU. With nicotine strengths up to 18. Folks, I'm telling you, the demand is there. These guys just launched a brand new e-liquid line in the EU with up to 18 milligram. And look, it's 50-50 mix,
50.
Right? Our white tobacco, this is like a Heisenberg menthol, Virginia tobacco, and you got some flavors over there?
Yeah, they have here's the black currant right there. Here is the blueberry. They actually have like a bunch of flavors in the line. They have creams and custards. And
I think
stuff.
It's like a 24 flavor line. I want to say
this line right. This flavor they named after Dimitri. I thought that was really nice.
That was right. There. I'm not getting any money for it either.
Here's a strawberry. So yeah, I'm looking forward to trying these actually.
Yeah, we will try them. We might do it live on the next episode as well too, just to give it a little shout out. Not for any reason. It's just good to appreciate that people are putting these products on the market. They are valuable. They are needed. Throat hit is needed, especially in the EU where there's a 20 milligram cap. So you can't get that 50 milligram head rush Juul thing going on, right? So you need to have that throat hit and a little bit higher nicotine.
Well, it's funny that you say that about the other, because Juul was at the show. Juul was at Vape Expo Madrid.
Yes.
And we stopped by to experience what a Juul is like and it's not 20 milligram. They have 17 milligram.
1.7%. It's the new one that they launched now. And folks, it's disappointing. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not saying it because it's Juul. It's just, it sucks. There's no throat hit. There's no satisfaction out of it. And it's unfortunate because if it was a good product, we certainly would recommend it to somebody in the EU that wants to try vaping, but it's just not good. It's just not satisfying at all. I saw a question in the chat that I want to address really quick. Is it safe to sub-ohm low nicotine level salt nicotine? Yeah, nicotine is nicotine. Whether it's salt or not, nicotine is exactly the same. 3 milligram salt nicotine is exactly the same as 3 milligram regular nicotine, right? So yes, it is safe to 𝗧𝗵𝗲 if that's what's satisfying and that's what's keeping you off cigarettes. If that's what you need, absolutely. What's not safe to do is 𝗧𝗵𝗲 25 and 30 and 40 and 50 milligrams salt nicotine, because 50 milligram is 50 milligram nicotine. It's just like 𝗧𝗵𝗲ing 50 milligram regular nicotine. So the level is exactly the same. Okay, it doesn't change anything. So I hope that addresses your question. Back to Portugal. Just a few things here from Portugal that I want to bring up. From Lisbon, it was really interesting because we only had a limited amount of time there, and we wanted to see some of Lisbon. So me and Phil just kind of ventured out by ourselves. So we're just going to walk around Lisbon and see. We had an idea to jump on one of these tour buses that kind of takes you around as your tour is like an hour and 45-minute tour. And that was a great idea because we got to see a lot in a very, very short period of time. And we were able to jump off the bus a couple of times, just kind of go shopping or just kind of look around some of the areas there. And you know, I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. And Lisbon looked like it was beautiful, a combination of water and sightseeing and architecture. It was just it was beautiful, Phil.
It really was. It reminded, actually, Madrid and Lisbon. Lisbon was a little bit slower, less people than Madrid was, but they both reminded me a lot of Italy. They really did. The architecture, the plazas, you know, all the cafes that were all over the place where you could sit down, you could have a cup of coffee, you could have something to eat. Obviously, in Madrid, the tapas bars were very, very popular. There was one that we went to. It was like I can't remember the name of it, but it was like this glass building, and inside the building there were all these little tapas bars and just like things that you could try and you can eat, but like little dishes, little portions. It was so good. It was so good, guys.
I'm showing some pictures from Lisbon as well too.
And for those of you who are interested in the non-vape related photos, I put like 3 or 4 albums up on my Facebook today to show you some of the sights and some of the food that we were able to enjoy in the very limited time that we were there. But truly a beautiful place to go and to see. And I really wished we had more time because I could only imagine what else there was to see there.
Yeah, it was really good. And from Lisbon, we took off very, very early in the morning with a team. And we flew to Madrid, Spain for a vapexpo Madrid, which, by the way, is the same organizer as the vapexpo in Paris. Spain, folks, they're just a completely different type of atmosphere. There were no conferences at the expo. There was no smoker show. There was nothing really from that. It was just vape and vape related, a lot of liquid, a lot of advanced user driven. One of the things that was really disappointing to me, not from the event, but from Madrid, folks, there were thousands of people in the street walking, which I love. I love it. It kind of reminds me of Greece. Everybody smoked. Everybody. I saw so many people smoking. I have not seen that in many, many years. A lot of people smoking in Madrid.
Yeah. And I think this is one of the problems. I think it's an education problem. I'm not sure if they're getting the message or if they're getting the wrong message that vaping is at least 95% safer than smoking. You know, why are they not taking advantage of that? Well, what's wrong? Are they not getting the message? Are they not getting the education? Are they getting the wrong messages? Is vaping unapproachable? And the gentleman at the counter at Vapers Art said something that kind of was interesting to me. He said, people don't like the look of the giant clouds.
Yeah.
Right. Is that scaring people away, you know, from trying this? Do we look ridiculous doing what we do? I don't know. Like even mouth to lung produces more vapor than a cigarette produces smoke.
Yeah.
You know, maybe some of the smaller pod systems about equivalent or about on par, but you know, and not only the people that are walking around, but the people at the show too, right? I can't tell you how many people I saw as soon as you walk out the show where there was like the area where people were eating, 𝗵𝗍, that like little outdoor pavilion there. How many people were smoking?
A lot.
You know, like the people, the vapers that were attending the show would go out and have a cigarette. Well, that tells me they're doing something wrong. They're not being satisfied, or they're looking at it as a hobby and not smoking cessation, not a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah.
Even, and this is really starting to get frustrating to me. The people at the booths walking out and having a cigarette just out there in public, right?
Yeah.
Or like we saw this in China. We actually have some photos of different groups, different manufacturers all wearing their T-shirts, having a cigarette outside.
Yeah.
You're showing absolutely no belief in your product. None. You're telling me that your product is a joke. Have some belief and faith and walk the walk. I mean, if you're selling the product, use the goddamn product.
Yeah.
Show people that this truly works. It's starting to get me down a little bit. It make me angry.
It was really frustrating to see people representing their brand, even owners of companies out there are smoking. But I think that with the discussions that we had, because we were at the show at 𝗧𝗵𝗀 Madrid, we were. I'll put some pictures up here for you guys to see. We were at the Vapers Art Bar booth where a lot of the shop owners. This is 𝗃𝗽𝗶𝘀. They're a Spanish couple reviewers. They were launching a liquid line at the same time. Here is the organizer Patrick. Here's one of the staff members at the booth. Here's Phil. Having a discussion with some shop owners. And these guys, all the shop owners that we talked in Spain, all told us the same issue. We don't have any new customers. Everybody's chasing over the existing customers. So hopefully we brought some education to them to make some choices on hardware and liquids to carry and how to draw some smokers in. We try to have that one-on-one conversation with a lot of the people there. And a lot of them know that they're doing the wrong thing, but at the same time, they're trying to compete with a store down the street. And I think that's just the wrong strategy. All you're doing is just chasing the same customers. So hopefully we're going to start to see that shift in Madrid as well, too, as we're seeing in the other countries that are surrounding him. But overall, the show was actually pretty decent. We hardly saw any bad labeling there, which was really, really surprising to me. Overall, with exception maybe of a couple booths, the tone was not as loud as Hall 10 in Stuttgart, Germany. You agree?
I totally agree. We were told to expect the worst from the show, and I didn't see that at all.
Yeah.
I thought the show was actually pretty respectable. There was like you said, the labels were good. The music was at reasonable levels. They were definitely having some fun on stage. But I mean that's to be expected. Vape shows still have to be fun. We agree with that. But I thought the show was pretty good. And a reasonable size. Now, as far as like hardware is concerned, the show kind of reminded me a lot of like an American show. It was, I would say, 80% liquid and maybe 20% hardware at best. Yeah. There was no modders gallery or anything like that. But I thought it was a pretty good show.
I think it was as well too. There is something that I want to bring up here for those of you that are new or you might go to a new show. This industry has a lot of hype. There's a lot of hype, and hype does not necessarily mean satisfaction or something it's just a way of you to spend more money and buy all the new shit. One of the things that we saw at the show was this booth here. This is 𝗃𝗽𝗄, Vape 𝗃𝗃𝗄. And what me and Phil noticed as techies, and we're guys that care about smokers, it's a pod system, vaping made simple. What we notice is the tagline. Discover.
Zoom in there a little bit. Zoom into the tagline there,
let me
Mimi.
Let me zoom in there so you see it. There you go.
There you go.
Discover the new generation of pod systems, right? That's the tagline. Discover the new generation of pod systems. So obviously we're very, very intrigued by this tagline, and we went up to the booth, and Phil had a conversation that I want him to share with you guys, just so you understand what the hype in vaping is all about.
There were two people. There were two people at the booth, and I went up to, and this was the question. I said, "How are you doing?" And they said, "Good. How are you?" And I said, "What makes this the next generation of pod systems?" Right? And first of all, the guy just like literally stared at me for, I would say, a good solid 30 seconds. Now, 30 seconds does not sound a lot of time, but it is when you're talking to somebody. And he shook his head like, he goes like, "What do you mean?" And I pointed behind him. I'm like, Well, it says it right there. It's the next generation of pod systems. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me get my associate. So the associate comes over, and the first guy that I'm talking to looks at the associate and he says, this gentleman right here has a very, very good question. He said, what makes this the next generation of pod systems? Now they're staring at each other for 30 seconds because the second guy doesn't even know what's on the booth behind him, right? So he turns around. He's like, it's a pod, and you click it in, and you can charge it with this proprietary charger. And I'm like, okay, so what makes that the next generation of pod systems, right? It's just like every other pod system out there. No difference, guys. Absolutely no difference at all. And then just to add insult to injury, can you go back to the photo?
Oh, sorry, I'm in the wrong
photo up real quick.
Hold on.
Take a look if you can.
I'm getting there. I was in a different folder. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry, buddy.
Okay,
I might have it here somewhere.
No, I got it right here. Here you go.
Okay. So if you take look where that little window is. Can you circle the little window right at the top of it underneath the mouthpiece? No, not that one. But see, zoom in a little bit there, pal. Okay, I'll go down. Okay, see the little window? Can you circle a little window where you see kind of like the coil right there, where you would see the e-liquid level, right? So right there. It lights up. It lights up like, a lot of the other devices that light up. And of course, that's going to tell you your charge status. Okay. Here's the problem with that design. So let's just say the window is right here. Okay. And if you're using it, there's absolutely no way you can see that window. You can't see it light up. And I said, how is anybody going to be able to see the battery status when they're using it? Because there's no way for you to see it. And he said, that's where our LED is, and all the different devices have LEDs in all different places. And that's when I realized that these guys are a total joke. The company's a total joke. And I just walked away. It's no idea.
I do want to give a shout out. We did get to hang out with Vinny from the UK. He was at both shows, so we got to see him. We got to see Tiago and his team from vapor.eu. Just great people, and people that we've known for a while online. We finally get to meet him, and it instantly became friends. I'll bring up a couple more pictures here from the show. I'll give you the whole team here. This is at the end of the show where we all kind of in front of the booth took a picture there. I thought that was really, really cool. Here's some of the products that we had set up there for the show as well too. Here is a picture that they had of me and Phil on there, and I look like a whale. But overall, it was a great show, and it was great hanging out with these people. See the professionalism. We were trying to push MTL into a market that's flooded with sub-ohm, a hobby style, and an advanced gear and liquids. And it's a task. But I think that having people like us there is very, very important to be able to educate and try to help the next generation of ex-smokers that we desperately need to bring on board.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, we did not get to interview him. We did not get to talk to him. And this is a blurry photo, but he is still in counseling over our last encounter with him. He's very
poor guy.
He's not right. Mark Todd. But what a great guy. I just love him. Again, you meet and you get to hang out with so many people, and they're so far away, and it's just too bad because I would have a lot of these people over my house for a coffee or a wine or a beer. It would be a lot of fun.
So we did go out in Madrid a couple of nights. Me and Phil just took the plunge again by ourselves and said, let's see what we're going to see. And we ended up having a really good time. This is one of my favorite outfits that we wore out when we went flamingo dancing. It's me, Vinny, and Phil flamingo dancing out and about in Madrid.
I love the flower directly on the top of Vinny's head. That's
it's absolutely priceless. But Madrid, the food. Oh my God. I mean, we went to this market that had just just little stations set up with ham and olives and cheeses. And I'm just kind of rolling through the pictures here. Just absolutely just I could sit there all day and just try different things. And it was just a great experience. I mean, this I think it's called 𝗵𝗲. This is Phil buying. Excuse me, that's not it. That's it right there. That's him. Phil buying some breath mints. Here's some more pictures from Madrid at night that we get to walk outside. And again, we went out to dinner with Phil. We went to this little tapas place. We ate and we had a bottle of wine. We had a really good time. And then we walk outside, and I noticed this building lit up. And I was like, Phil, let's just walk on down there and see what it is. It ended up being the Palace in Madrid, and we took some really great photos. And it was here. I'll bring them up here. There you go. There's the Palace. Just randomly, we didn't even plan to go there, right?
I know we really did get lucky, but I will say this, 𝗏𝗏. Props to you, because you were the one who had the idea to jump on the tour bus in Lisbon. You were the one who had the idea to because 𝗏𝗏, he's great with that cell phone, and you looked up some tapas bars and tapas places, and we wound up in that area and just walked around and found some really beautiful, stunning areas to explore.
It really, really was amazing. And then right next to the Palace, I noticed that there's some lights on a cathedral. And I was like, oh, Phil, look, it's like a church, like a cathedral here. We walk over. It was a huge, huge cathedral. I mean, the place was just absolutely gorgeous. So we walk around the front to take some pictures, and we noticed that the church was actually having mass. I mean, it's a Catholic church. It was like 11:30 on Friday night. I mean, we could be in a club on Friday night drinking, or we could be in church. So we chose the church, and we actually walked in. This church was absolutely gorgeous. It was just the architecture, the building itself was just amazing. Here's a picture of the door with the carve out of the door was just amazing. And we actually just we walked in, and we sat for 10-15 minutes and participated in the mass. And I have to give it. At one point, I turned and I look at Phil, and Phil is down on his knees in the pew, and he's just praying. I thought it's one of the few times, I like to bust Phil's balls, and it's one of the few times that I was like, should I pull my phone out here or should I not? And I decided against it because I'm already going to hell. I don't want to go deeper into hell. So Phil was just sitting there praying for a few minutes and saying his things, and it was just overall, just the experience in Madrid was amazing, food wise, people wise. It was really, really good.
It was. If you go over to the videos, there is a video that says Church Madrid, if you want to share that video.
Yes.
And there's also Cutting Ham. Those two videos there might be interesting to some folks.
Okay, so Church, what was the first one called?
Church Madrid.
Church Madrid. All right, let me pull that up here. Clear that. Move that to that. And then we bring up Church Madrid. By the way, what a segue. Going from church to cutting ham. That was just delicious. That was just... Thank you, Steven. I'll see you there, buddy.
Yes. That was like a time. It's like watching a violinist do a,
Yeah.
By the way,
Salt
I
Bay. Go ahead, Salt Bay.
I salted one of my meats too.
Go ahead, Salt Bay.
Look at that.
What?
Oh, look at that style. Look at that. Unbelievable.
I knew you were going to do that.
It was so good.
Can we eat now?
Yeah, of course.
By the way, your aim is terrible. The my wine tasted like salt.
It was really good. But I know this show we kind of veered away from our usual topics. Keep in mind there are 31 episodes that do talk about a lot of about smokers, but we wanted to share this with you because I think tobacco harm reduction is international. And when we travel to these places, we want to share it with you, and we want to show you what's going on around the world. And we also want to squeeze in some of those hard to talk about topics as we're doing a lot of this entertainment. So I hope you guys enjoyed at least sharing our experience with you. And we'll be back to our regular programming in 2 weeks on our next.
Yes, will we be, or will you be in Greece, my friend?
We're gonna do one more show,
Okay.
which is gonna be 2 weeks from today, and then of course we're gonna take some time off. July, I want to spend it with my family, and I know that you have a lot of traveling to spend with your family as well too. So we are gonna take July off. For the Smoker Show, and then we're gonna reconvene back in August, which again is gonna be really, really difficult because between August and November, we are traveling again nonstop.
I know. Maybe I'll squeeze a review in there or two. By the way, if anybody, I'm gonna throw this out there, okay? If anybody knows an e-liquid manufacturer that does specialize in 50/50 and goes up to 12, at least 12, 18 even better. We know that some of our sponsors do, particularly Lunar Rover. Have them get in touch with me because maybe we'll do some liquid reviews from the boat. Okay, so just keep that in mind. If any of you guys know such e-liquid manufacturers out there, I know they're few and far between these days, but I would definitely be interested in maybe doing some liquid reviews again for you guys.
Yeah, that would be really, really cool. I think it's very, very important in this market that offering sticks around and that we have that option for people to try out. It worked for millions of us, and it should continue to work, especially with today's equipment that's available. A couple of shout outs. 𝗃𝗽𝗶𝗀. I smoked for 44 years, 4 packs a day. August will be 2 years of vaping. It's never too old. I am 64.
Excellent. Good for you,
Terry. And then Cherry Lie. I'm only 5 days in and started vaping a week ago. So congratulations to you, Cherry.
Good for you.
And
Good for you. Keep
anything
it up.
that we can
Keep it up.
anything that we can do to assist that would be great. I think we covered pretty much everything. Phil, anything that we left out? I mean, there's a lot.
I think we did. I'm just looking through some of the videos here and see if there's anything that we missed that was funny.
There's a lot of funny stuff, a lot that we can't show either.
Yeah,
I know. But hopefully when the body cams come in, we'll be able to collect more content for you. I think that in this particular trip, I busted a lot of people's balls. I do want to thank Didio and his team, and his Dario, his brother, and Nunu, his GPS assistant. The guys were pretty amazing. I do want to put this picture up. Let me see. I've got it right here. EU. This picture here. If somebody asked me about liquor, all 3 of my bottles of liquor made it back safe. I don't know about you.
Yep,
I was very, very concerned about that. But this is my liquor collection from this trip. The one on the right, the 𝗵𝗂𝗪, is from Portugal. It's the most famous drink there. We were doing shots of this. We didn't know you're supposed to sip on it. Nobody told us. So we did like a dozen shots of this at the store, but it was really delicious. It was very, very sweet. In the middle, from Germany, 𝗬𝗏𝗀. This is from Ira and his team. And all the way on the left, you can see even with a sticker on it, very good branding from Tiago and his team, and Bruno, vapor.eu reviews. This is this Moscatel is supposed to be in the top 10 liquors in the entire world, and it's made in Portugal. So I look forward to breaking that bottle open and enjoying it. It was very very stressful trying to get all that stuff in. So yeah.
So, I think we got it all. I'm taking a look at the videos here. I think we covered most of it.
Yeah.
Again, by the way, the videos that are in this episode, the 2 that are edited that I put together today, the one from Vaporize Art and the one from the Hall of Vape Germany. I am going to put those up on YouTube as standalone videos. So if you want to see those on their own in high def, I guess, or as high def as I recorded them, they are going to be up on YouTube, and I'll put them in the link to the replay of this show on tasteyourjuice.com. Okay.
Okay. Sorry, my daughter is my daughter's texting me.
That's okay. Well, so what does everybody think about Dimitri and a hat? I'm not sure about the whole hat thing. What is this, like your new thing? All of a sudden you're doing the hat. And what happened to the goatee too? I thought you were going to grow the goatee out.
No, I decided against the goatee. I went ahead and shaved it, and the hat is. I didn't have a chance to fix my hair because I've been busy all day. This PMTA announcement today has gotten everybody in a rut. So I don't know. I mean, maybe I'll keep it. Maybe I don't keep it. I don't know. Maybe I put a fedora. Maybe I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't
Something
know.
like that.
I don't like hats. I'll be honest with you. I don't.
I know.
But,
I never see you wear hats.
but I
That's why
see
I'm
the
really
video
curious.
of me like that. I'm balding in the back, and it's driving me nuts too.
That'll be the
So-
next thing. That'll be the next thing. I mean, you first you lose all the weight, then you get your teeth fixed, and now you're gonna get hair plugs next? Is that what we're gonna do? Is
I
that
guess
what you're going for?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. One rant. I did a big giveaway on Instagram for World Anti-Tobacco Day, May 31st. I'll give away 7 starter kits, and I said whoever wins it, maybe you'll pass it on. 4 of the winners are from Indonesia, so yeah, that's gonna be fun shipping all that stuff out. The second thing, obviously, we want to thank our sponsors. Phil, I mean, they did an amazing job getting us product in Germany for the Smoker Show. And I know it's a lot of cost to ship the product there, but trust me, 5 pounds especially, really, really appreciated. Their bottles, 12 milligram, the right, correct strength, 2 of the flavors that we know are going to be very, very popular. So, Phil, let's give them a shout out.
Yeah, once again, INNOKIN supplied. They supplied T18s. They supplied EQSs. They supplied Cool Fire Minis. Juno supplied a whole bunch of the Juno sticks. Lunar Rover. They first of all, they're again the code for Lunar Rover, Smoker Show, and you're gonna get 15% off. They're not actually distributed in the EU, so we didn't get product from them. My Vapor Store. MTL10 is going to get you 10% off of the products, the INNOKIN platform products from MVS. 5 Points did a great job. They supplied us with a whole bunch of 12 milligram e-liquid for the show. Naked 100, they sent a lot of e-liquid to the show, but I don't think they understood what we were trying to accomplish there.
Yeah.
They sent what is it, 3 milligram,
3 milligram
or 6
yeah.
milligram? I can't remember
Three.
but maybe we weren't clear enough in what we needed there, but thank you. There were some folks that wanted lower nicotine levels, and thanks to them that we did have it for them. And of course, JOYETECH supplied a whole bunch of Ego AIOs, and we appreciate them. We appreciate all our sponsors. And guys, listen, we tell you about the sponsors, but just know that these sponsors are doing good things for us, for the Smoker Show, and for smokers, right? Not to mention not only the Smoker Show live thing that we just did in Germany, but also supplying us with product that we can pass along to you. And that's why, the tagline of the show, #SmokersWanted. We want you to get smokers to watch the show. We want you to interact with us on the show. Call in, interact in the chat. We're always watching. We're always looking for smokers who are joining the show because we want to get product in your hand. We want to get you off of cigarettes. That's the whole idea, the whole reason, the whole purpose behind the show. Certainly not to attract people who don't smoke and don't vape. That's not the goal of the show. But if you are an of age smoker and you are looking for a healthier way to get your nicotine, this is the show for you. That's why we're here. Okay, so
and sponsors are very, very important. We can't do what we do without them. Okay, there's definitely a cost associated with doing the show, but it's also we want to get these products out to people that smoke. And no matter if you want to criticize that or not, it's irrelevant. What our goal here is to get these products to try. And if one person tries, and we get a person that gets a kit for free or whatever, he scammed us out of a kit, that does not concern me. It really does not. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it because ultimately our goal is conversions.
Yeah, so I was talking and you just jumped right in there, but I'm used to that from you, buddy. But anyway, so like we said, we do appreciate our sponsors, and if you have the opportunity, support the sponsors. We would certainly appreciate that, or maybe
just
even
tell them
drop
that you saw them here. Yeah,
just go ahead and jump in there again.
Yeah, I did, because what you should have said is just drop them a line and say that we appreciate.
I was getting to the drop them a line thing, but you jumped in again. You don't let me finish my thought. You talk for the whole goddamn show. I finally started to talk a little bit, and you jump right in. Maybe I've had a little bit too much, Dimitri.
Yeah.
It's like 10 days with you.
It's too much. By the way, we are going to couples counseling. I just want to put that out there.
We are going to be going to couples counseling, and we're going to try to record that whole thing.
We're going to record it for you guys. We're going to couples counseling because it's very difficult that I spent between May and mid-June, I spent more time with Phil than I did with my wife. By far. I mean, by far. Like, I think I spent with Phil 26 days, and I spent with my family and my wife 10 days in this span that we're together. And no matter how much I love Phil, spend that much time with anybody, you want to kill him. And by the end of this trip, I literally wanted to kill him. But yeah, the last thing that I want to say is
Wait, I got one more thing.
Yeah.
One more thing I want to show you guys. There they are. Those are the 4 mil final versions. I'm using one right now. It is good on the beep. Dimitri should have his tomorrow. He's going to use one. We will go ahead and put our stamp of approval on these, and they will start to be becoming available. They'll go into mass production, and then they'll come and be available. And I might even do a little giveaway on the platform group.
Facebook search platform INNOKIN, manufactured by INNOKIN Group.
There you go.
By the way, I love all the friendly advice I'm getting in the chat. Demi, get a Trump haircut comb over. Wow, that sounds like a lot of fun. Get a beanie with a propeller. That's a good one too. Get a spray on hair and put a video up on it. That'd be fun.
Oh, we were gonna do that. Don't take our thunder. We're definitely, we had that in the works.
Yeah, we did. Are you guys father and son? Yeah, I'm the son. But it's really appreciate it. I do want to say one thing quickly for all of you that reached out to me. While I was in Europe, my father-in-law went to the hospital, and it was pretty. He's 82 years old, and he's a really tough Greek guy, and we thought we were going to lose him. Honestly, it was 2 days there where my wife was making preparations. I was getting ready to find flights to leave and come back to the United States, and the outpouring of love from people that know him or don't know him or just know me, and we're just sending positive vibes to me. It's a miracle. The doctors are calling it a miracle. 10 doctors and they're working on him when he went on to shock. But he's making a comeback. And this morning I went visited him. They've moved him into rehab, and there's just a picture of the God. We call him the Godfather. So he's doing better, and we're hoping for a full recovery. So I do appreciate everybody that reached out with personal messages and texts and Facebook messages and for his well-being. So I certainly appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I'm happy for you. I'm happy that worked out, and hopefully he'll pull through and make a full recovery.
Yes. All right. Final words from you, Phil. I'm going to wrap it up.
That's it. Thanks everybody for watching and for believing in the show and the importance of the show. As always, we do ask you. We can only reach so many people through our Facebook, through the media, through the social media that we do to advertise this show. So we definitely appreciate you guys spreading the word of the show, letting people know about the show. Mostly important, letting smokers know about the show. This is the place for them to come and interact with us, ask questions about vaping, get some of those horrible myths and some of those horrible mainstream media things that you hear. Get those out of the way. We'll speak to those things. And just smokers wanted, guys. Smokers wanted. Let's get more people involved with vaping and onto the road of tobacco harm reduction.
Absolutely. And just to address one little comment in the chat from Angela. I need help getting the cravings down. I have the Zenith and the JOYETECH. I'm having problems letting go of my cigarettes. Just a little word of advice: up your nicotine, Angela. You have 2 devices. Take one, put whatever you're vaping on, and the other one, up the nicotine on that, and use that one as a cigarette, okay? So use one of your setups with 18 milligram or even 24 if you need it. Use it as a cigarette for 4 or 5 minutes, put it down, then go to your other device that has a little bit lower nicotine and enjoy vaping through the day. Vaping is not an instant hit of nicotine like a cigarette delivers to you, and this is probably what you're missing. You're missing that big jolt that you're getting of nicotine. So in order to mimic that, use one of your setups in that same similar fashion. Put a lot, higher nicotine level into that, and just pick it up and just vape it as a cigarette. We take an average of 12 puffs off of a regular cigarette. Do it like that with a high content of nicotine, so you can get that instant nicotine hit, and then go back to your other device and enjoy vaping throughout the day.
That's the advice I would have given.
We certainly appreciate you guys watching, and remember to help your friends and family switch to vaping. We'll see you again in 2 weeks.